A company's loyalty is to itself. That being said, not choosing to go after what you want in life for fear of how it impacts an organization is only just going to hold you back in your life. And ultimately, your loyalty should be to you and what you want. Just because you're pregnant as well doesn't mean that you're debilitated.
Hannah Hotline, how can I redirect your call? Oh, hello. Hi, I have a really big problem at
Dear
work.
Hannah Hotline,
I don't really like my boss.
I'm really attracted to the guy I work with, but
I just want to say no, but I say
it's
yes.
my self-esteem, you know? Maybe it's burnout. This is the operator putting you through now.
Hey hotties, welcome back to another episode of Hannah Hotline. So pumped to be here with you today. So as usual, if you have a Hannah Hotline dilemma and you want to be featured on the podcast or on the Daily Telegraph, you can email hello@hannahkissel.com to have your letter featured. So with that, let's just dive right in as to this juicy listener email. Dear Hannah, a few months ago, I started a new role and I hate it. Okay, we are starting off strong. I've been with the company a long time and I know this role isn't a fit. On top of that, my partner and I want to start a family next year. And this company gives me the stability and flexibility, even though I hate what I'm doing daily. I'm scared to leave this company, start behind, start from scratch, risk last in, first out, etc. I also feel like I can't go to a new organization while I'm trying to get pregnant. Like it would be unfair to them to join and then potentially go on maternity leave not long after. But I also can't stand the work that I do every day and want to go back to what I was previously doing. I can't switch roles in my current company now because there is a year-long waiting cycle. Should I just hold out in my current role until I get pregnant or try to find something I enjoy but go on mat leave soon after and risk letting my new team down? Sincerely, not pregnant yet, but hoping to be. Okay. This is a really interesting dilemma because there's almost two separate issues going on here. One is that you hate your job and you want to switch roles, but then we have the complexity around your family planning on top of it. There are a few different ways that we can look at this, but the first one is that asking to stay in a role that you don't like, that you know isn't for you, that you absolutely hate doing for, minimum a year. That's kind of a tall order. I mean, sometimes people can do it, and I've definitely seen some people do this and just put up with it because, let's say, their stock is going to vest or they, get paid a handsome salary and this is part of what they're willing to sacrifice in order to have the lifestyle for that. But you're not really saying that here. What you're really saying is, this isn't a fit. You want to go back to what you were previously doing, which sounds like something that you were good at. So that's a great start here. But then there's also, the added complexity of really not wanting to join a new organization because almost like you feel like dishonest or it's unfair if you choose to get pregnant shortly after. So any organization will look after themselves because that's what an organization does. The org looks after the health of the company. The org looks after its P&L. The organization looks after, hopefully, its staff. But an organization can also make you redundant at any choice. And that is because, especially if it's a publicly listed company, what the org is there to do is to return a profit to shareholders. Now, especially in this climate, there has been less company loyalty than ever before. And whether that's right or wrong, that's kind of a judgment call based on individuals. But I have seen time and time again where people have sacrificed big personal values or big personal goals or big personal ambitions because of their organization and because of, the leadership trajectory that they were on to then just get laid off 2 months later. I've seen people get completely relocated, move entire families, and then within a month of being there, their role is they are made redundant. So a company's loyalty is to itself. That being said, not choosing to go after, what you want in life for fear of how it impacts an organization is only just going to hold you back in your life. And ultimately, your loyalty should be to you and what you want. Of course, that doesn't mean, like, just because you're pregnant as well doesn't mean that you're debilitated. It doesn't mean that you're not going to be able to do great work. It doesn't mean that once you have the baby and go on maternity leave and return from maternity leave, that you are not going to be a great employee. What you've said here is you were at the organization for a really long time. It seems like you already have long-term tenure behind you. So I would assume that anywhere that you would want to go next, you would probably want to be there for a long time as well, because that seems to be in line with your personality from the little bit of data I can glean from this email. So there are also, according to Australian law, there are anti-discrimination rules against pregnancy, but do you have to disclose that you are planning to get pregnant when you're interviewing, and are you being dishonest? No, you're absolutely not. And what you want to do in your personal life is up to you, but putting that on hold, and I don't know your age here, but depending on what age you are, what stage in life, you delay another year or 2 years, that could have big implications on your fertility. So putting something on hold, for an organization, unless it's your organization, is generally not really a good idea. And I think that, like, in this email, it's a little bit of black and white thinking of like, okay, I can either be really selfish or, look after myself, or I can like give it 100% to the company. And I'd kind of challenge you to just think a little bit more in the gray here of, you're not being dishonest, you're not being unfair. Many women get pregnant. Many women are amazing employees while pregnant. They go on maternity leave and they contribute a great amount. So you are not hindering the organization in any way. Is your boss going to have to figure out how to backfill you or do a mat leave cover, while you're on maternity leave? Yes, of course. But that is also just part of life and part of employing women. So that's what we're dealing with here. So I wouldn't put your personal ambitions on hold just because you want a new role. You don't need to not family plan for that. I would think about the current climate, which is that, there are mass redundancies all the time now in the media. And you can see that it doesn't matter if you're pregnant or not, or returning from mat leave, you can be made redundant at any time. So you may as well go after what you want in life and prepare that way. And then just also, whatever organization that you want to go to, you're going to want to be in an organization that really supports you either way. And I've recently heard of someone who joined an organization, when they were 3 months pregnant. They announced it a few months after. And this is a big enterprise company, and everyone was thrilled for them. Everyone said, huge congratulations. We're so excited for you. And then there was planning around that. So you want to be somewhere that really gives you support and doesn't punish you for how you want to live your life. So really interesting one, juicy one. Definitely, I'd love to hear back from you to talk about, what you do decide to do, but don't put off your hopes and dreams and your long-term goals at the expense of a company that you're not even working for yet. All right, Hannah Hotties, if you have another listener email, of course, you can write in at hello@hannahkissel.com. I'd love to hear from you, and I will see you on another Hannah Hotline in 2 weeks.
Hannah Hotline. Email her and you'll be fine. When your brain goes bing, bang, bonka, bing, boom. Email Hannah Hotline. Email Hannah Hotline.
Hannah Hotline is sponsored by Dominic Jingles, where quirky, clever and corporate branding is reimagined. DM Dominic on Instagram at Dominic Jingles or email dominicenglish04@gmail.com.